Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. I'm Craig Nolan. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Craig. I'm Daniel Pineda.
And my name's Adele Quo.
Hi, everybody.
You're the next contestant on The Price is Right.
Well, we hope you're keeping warm, staying warm out there in this rather abrupt change in temperature. Holy cow. 35 degrees for the high today or something like that.
But yeah, it's like
hopefully I think the 70s are gone for good, but maybe the 50s and 40s and 50s will be back maybe by
a couple Arctic blasts here.
by the weekend. Okay, so here we go with our rundown, the rundown sheet right here, news and community bulletin board, and our very favorite Adele is here for another installment of
It's Easy Being Green. Thank you for the cue.
Very good. Got the cue on that one. Much better this time.
Thank
you. CBB, as I may or may not have mentioned, a roll-in from Karen Aguilar talking about the breeze or not to breeze, and our News for Seniors segment, and then our Styrofoam mom, Miriam Gennari, and her guests. And that's our show. Social media reminder from Senior Pineda right
That's
here.
right, Craig. You can watch the Arlington Weekly News on our very own YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News and the number 1. Also, facebook.com/Arlington Weekly News. And we can't forget the radio, right, Craig?
Also on the radio, WERA Radio 96.7 LPFM. The audio from our little show is on the radio. Check us out. We're in your ear. All right, here we go. News item number 1. In our stories here tonight, well, Jitesh Patel had been incarcerated in the Arlington County Detention Facility since July of 2018. He was awaiting trial after having been charged with homicide. On Monday, November 11, after 14 months, he was found unconscious in his cell. Attempts to revive Mr. Patel by both Arlington County deputies, nurses, and fire department personnel were unsuccessful, and he was pronounced dead at 6:05 a.m. The cause of death will be determined by the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner. Mr. Patel's family was informed of his death later that afternoon. He was 43. Daniel.
Well, on to some other news for this week here at the Arlington Weekly News. A man who appeared to be in his 20s reportedly stole money from a tip jar at Commonwealth Joe Roysters on 12th Street South in Pentagon City. When a bystander attempted to prevent the theft, the suspect bit them, drawing blood. As a result, the charge of malicious wounding has been added, and an investigation is ongoing.
And Daniel, also in our news stories, a raccoon was temporarily trapped inside a dumpster near the Animal Welfare League here in Arlington. However, a helpful police officer was able to place some additional boxes inside the dumpster, and that enabled the raccoon to climb out by himself. So, as news goes, it's not much, but at least it's a nice story, isn't it? Daniel.
Well, Craig, by now, most Arlingtonians are well aware that a water main break occurred on November the 8th, sometime between 4:30 in the morning. The 36-inch pipe that burst tore a major hole in the pavement of North Glebe Road, as is descended towards Chain Bridge. As a result, residents in about half of the county were instructed to boil their water for 3 minutes before use, even for non-consumption uses such as, well, bathing. Arlington County Public Schools were also closed for the day. Although the boiling advisory has since been lifted, residents may want to consider the fact that the break was apparently not caused by an unpredictable natural event, but simply by the age of the pipe. Despite the fact that the rupture occurred on a heavy traveled road, no injuries or fatalities were reported, but this was more attributable to luck than to wise county management. Arlington's website boasts that it is a world-class community. Maybe they are referring to some third world country.
Or maybe not.
Or
All right.
19th
Or
century.
maybe not 19th century country. All right. Thank you, Daniel. And that's a look at our, as we call them, news items. And we'll be back with CBB right after we hear from Adele Quo and her version, this week's version of
It's Easy Being
Green. Here's Adele.
Yes, that's right. Every week, full of wonderful green information. So welcome back to It's Easy Being Green. My name is Adele Quo, and of course, Joe Tree Frog and Turkey Friends join us. But the last thing on your mind during the holidays is to think about sustainability. But Joe Tree Frog wants to remind us to reach for the low-hanging fruit. So we have prepared a simple countdown to make an easy transition to a more eco-friendly Thanksgiving. Starting 2 weeks out, a clever Evite or hand-lettered invitation on recycled paper, or even a simple phone call to confirm details and determine any special food needs of your guests helps to save a world of last-minute headaches. Also, plan the meal. Make a shopping list separating advanced items from the day before items, and order your free-range or certified organic turkey in advance before they sell out. About 1 week out, start shopping for your staples and those non-perishables at your local farmers markets for local, organic, and locally sourced produce. The Arlington Farmers Market, Pike Park Farmers Market, and Westover Farmers Market are open year-round. And there are other farmers markets in Arlington open until the end of November. Also, start cleaning your house using non-toxic cleaners to make your house sparkle without chemicals. And my favorite, decorate with nature. Forget those petroleum-based plastic and synthetic decorations and adorn your table with natural and homemade festive decor. You can head out to your yard with a pair of shears and find some tree branches or stems loaded with berries and flowers whose seed heads have died on the stem, and flowering grasses. You can fill the vases with pine cones and acorns and colorful leaves. Pop open your organic wine bottles and carve a small slit into the bottle corks. Slide a piece of paper in with your guest's name, and you've created a unique upcycled place setting. On the day before, pick up your bird and shop at your local farmers market for perishables. On the big day, you can use your good dishes and cloth napkins. Disposable dishes and plastic utensils create a ton of waste. If reusable won't work, opt for biodegradable and compostable utensils, napkins, and plates. Light your soy or vegetable wax candles, because soy wax is clean burning without soot or harmful emissions and has a low melting point, so it burns at a cooler temperature. Pour some more organic wine. Look for the Eco Glass label on many different bottles of wine. Eco Glass uses 25% less glass than traditional wine bottles, saving materials and shipping weight, which saves on delivery truck fuel use. And offer organic beverages, from apple cider to more wine and beer. You have plenty of organic drinks to choose from. And don't forget, give thanks. And afterwards, please recycle and compost. So happy Thanksgiving to everyone. And just these little tips will go a long way.
Yes.
Remember, it's easy being green.
It's easy being
Can't
green,
forget
indeed
that
it
one.
is.
That's
I like
right.
the cork place settings. That's kind of a cool
Kind of fun,
idea.
right?
Yeah, really. I got a whole
Exactly.
stack of corks.
Just a little
I'm willing to
slit,
donate some of
yeah.
my corks.
There
to
you go. Well, now
place
you can use them as place settings.
Absolutely.
Thank you for those tips.
Absolutely. Thanks, Adele. We
Thank you,
appreciate
Adele.
it, as always. And here we go now, as promised, our CBB, Community Bulletin Board file. Well, the Arlington County Police Department will be hosting the fifth annual Fill the Cruiser toy drive to help children in need this holiday season. Officers will be collecting new unwrapped toys throughout the month of November and distributing them throughout December. The drives will be held on Tuesday, November 19 from 5 to 7 p.m. between Ted's Bulletin and True Food Kitchen at Ballston Quarter. They're located at 4238 Wilson Boulevard. And then Wednesday, November 20th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic Church. They're down in the Crystal City area, 830 23rd Street South. And then again on Thursday, November 21st from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Lee Harrison Shopping Center, 2425 North Harrison Street. And then coming up on Friday, November 29 from 2 to 4 in the afternoon at the Food Court, the Fashion Center at Pentagon City. 1100 South Hayes Street. Anybody who cannot attend can drop off donations until Friday, December 13 at the second floor Administrative Support Unit front counter at the Arlington County Police Headquarters. They're located at 1425 North Courthouse Road. The toy drive is on, so get out there and drop off a toy. Daniel.
And to continue our Thanksgiving theme, this Thanksgiving theme event features arts, crafts, stories, and certainly, of course, puppets. It's a great way to get in the Thanksgiving spirit. The celebrations are taking place on Saturday, November the 23rd from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. That's at the Loft at Cherrydale Branch Library, located at 2190 Military Road, and also in the Children's Room. That's at Glen Carlin Branch Library, located at 300 South Kennington Street. Attendance, of course, is on a first-come, first-served basis. Craig.
And Daniel, also in our CBB file, the Junior League of Northern Virginia will be hosting a holiday Enchanted Forest, a fundraiser featuring a variety of holiday-themed activities. The event includes visits with Santa, live musical performances, and activities to take part in. There'll also be a cocktail party, a tea party, a gingerbread house workshop, and a lot more. There'll be general admission tickets for the main event, while the workshops and parties require special tickets. This is all happening on Saturday, November 23rd, 9 a.m. to Sunday, November 24th at 1 p.m. at the Sheraton Pentagon City Hotel. They're located at 900 South Orm Street. More information, visit jlnv.org/TEF. Daniel.
Well, Craig, looking for some LGBTQ books? Come to this book club event and bring your favorite books and discuss some with others. Everybody, of course, is welcome. This is happening on Monday, November the 25th from 7 to 8 p.m. That's at the Campbell Room in the Shirlington Branch Library, located at 4200 Campbell Avenue. And of course, we want to thank our own Jordan Kuharski for this week's CBB Stories. And another important note, Denise is away, unfortunately. Well, not fortunately, actually. Away watching Rent at the arena stage, but it closes after this Sunday. Let's take it on, Karen. Karen.
Understanding wind predictions is a breeze, or is it? Sometimes you'll hear a prediction of calm weather in a forecast, and that's easy enough. It means that the wind, if any, will be blowing at less than 1 mile per hour. You can walk faster than that. The next higher intensity is called light air, and you seldom hear about it because hardly anyone bothers. It's only around 3 miles an hour and won't even move a weather vane. The only easy way to see its action is that it makes rising smoke move. Once the wind reaches 4 to 7 miles an hour, it gets called a light breeze. You may hear about that one because you can feel it on your face, and it makes the leaves rustle. A gentle breeze blows at 8 to 12 miles per hour, and it's strong enough to extend a light flag. Nobody worries about it. It's still fairly pleasant. A moderate breeze comes at 13 to 18 miles per hour, and it can pick up dust and loose papers. You'll want to be careful while you're writing your great American novel. Next up is a fresh breeze at 19 to 24 miles per hour. It causes middle-sized branches to move and young leafy trees to sway. After that is a strong breeze at 25 to 31 miles per hour, and the going gets tougher, especially if you're carrying an umbrella. The next step up is known as near gale, spelled G-A-L-E. It blows at 32 to 38 miles per hour, and it makes walking difficult. If you're outdoors, you'll want to get inside as soon as you can, especially if the wind begins to gust or intensify. Next comes the gale, or fresh gale, at 39 to 46 miles per hour. It can cause cars to veer as they drive, and it makes walking very difficult. At 47 to 54 miles per hour, it becomes a strong gale. How strong? Strong enough to break some branches off of trees and even cause small trees to blow over. You do not want to be out in this. At 55 to 63 miles per hour, the whole gale can break off or uproot trees and cause structural damage. Beyond that, at 64 to 72 miles an hour, it's no longer a gale, but simply a violent storm. and once it exceeds 73 miles per hour, it's considered to be hurricane force. Really, the best way to experience it is to read about it in a book. These ratings, known as the Beaufort Scale, were established by Sir Francis Beaufort, pictured here. History does not record whether or not it was based on some unhappy experience with a toupee.
All right.
Thank you, Karen.
Karen Aguilar, great talking about the breezes,
Yeah.
all sorts of different breezes. We appreciate that. Come on back and tell us more about weather next time.
Hopefully it's not as cold.
Our buddy meteorologist there.
Yeah,
And bring the
keep
warm
the
weather
warm
back.
weather.
That was great. Karen Aguilar, thank you. Okay, here we go. As promised now, CBB. Oh no, we did CBB. This must be ARP. It is. Oh, it is indeed ARP. I've got my ARP glasses on here. News for seniors. Here we go. AARP or ARP is presenting a home fit workshop with information on what type of modifications are needed for folks to stay in their homes as they age. The workshop is designed to educate and tell people exactly what home updates will make daily activities easier while staying independent and injury-free. This program takes place on Thursday, November 21st at 11 in the morning at Langston Brown 55 Plus Center, located at 2121 North Culpeper Street. For more information and to register, give them a call at the number on your screen and in your ear now, 703-228-6300. Daniel.
Well, Craig, Millie Osborne, MD and author of Con Artist Dating, will present practical tips for finding and sustaining healthy relationships through online dating sites and in-person meet and greets. Dr. Osborne will reveal several details about how relationship cons operate as people age in the dating world. This program will take place on Friday, that's November the 22nd at 11 a.m. at the Walter Reed 55 Plus Center, located at 2909 16th Street South. To register, give them a call at 703-228-0955.
All right, Daniel, also in our news for seniors, do you know what the cloud is and where it goes and what it does? Is it secure? And what does it cost? Well, Nick England, our tech guru, will answer questions about OneDrive, iCloud, Dropbox, Google Drive, and other common cloud-based storage options. This event is coming up Thursday, November 21st at 2 in the afternoon at Arlington Mill 55 Plus Center, located at 909 that is, South Dinwiddie Street. For more information and to register, call them at this number, 703-228-7369. Daniel.
And our final senior stories for tonight, renowned artist and art patron Arthur B. Davies is being remembered as a driving force behind the Armory Show in New York City. Davies' grandson, or great-grandson, Mac Cosgrove Davies, has spent years studying and cataloging his great-grandfather's creations. He will present a personal highlight tour of his work that all takes place on Friday, November the 22nd at 11:30 a.m. That's at the Lee 55 Plus Center, located at 5722 Lee Highway. To register, give them a call at 703-228-0555. And as always, we want to thank our own Judy Masomny for this week's Senior Stories. Thank you so much, Judy.
Thanks, Judy. We appreciate it. All right, we'll be back with sign-off and bye-bye and a little bit more about this photo here if we have time.
Let's do a tease.
Right after we hear from our Styrofoam mom, here's Miriam and her Sustainable Scoop.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of the Sustainable Scoop. I think I'm pretty tech savvy. I mean, we all have to be. Technology is everywhere. But I am learning once again, there's a lot I don't know. Joining me today is Theodora Scarato, and she and I met a while back. We talked a little bit about cell phone use and the impact on the human body, but recently somebody came and asked if we could do a show on 5G, and luckily I knew an expert, so welcome, Theodora.
Thank you so much.
To get started, can you just tell us a little bit about the organization that you work with and the kind of work that you're doing?
So Environmental Health Trust is a scientific think tank, and we work on preventable health risks from environmental exposures.
You've worked on things like lead issues, you've worked on issues in the schools, and for professionally, you're in public health, right, or social work. So
Yes, yeah, I'm a clinical social worker who used to work in schools with children. In the last few years, I do more policy work. So now we are public health prevention.
interesting. There's not a lot of policy, or maybe there's some guidelines, but in terms of these electromagnetic radiation waves that we're all kind of being bombarded with, there's not a lot of warnings out there, but there should be, right?
Well, hundreds of scientists say that there should be, but the problem is that the policies that we have in place are not protective, according to scientists who are working and doing research in this field who are independent, not funded by industry.
But my understanding, at least in my brief research prior to the interview, was that there's nothing that the average citizen can do. And wait a minute, before we even go to what a citizen can do, tell us what's happening to us. Tell us what happens when these electromagnetic radiation waves touch or pass through our bodies.
So when cell phones first came on the market, which were the first wireless devices other than radar and other medical applications, they were not pre-market tested for safety. And there wasn't research to understand what are the long-term impacts to human health and to the environment, bees, trees, which of course we have cell towers, so we have to think about the environment as well. But scientists are sounding the alarm bell because of research showing increased cancer, cancer promotion, headaches, memory damage, impacts to bee behavior, damage to trees from cell antennas, and these wireless signals, which are invisible, travel through the air, but they also are absorbed into our bodies and into living things.
I remember mentioning it to people, and a lot of people saying, oh, Miriam, you know, you're such a conspiracy theorist. But this is not something that you're just talking about here in the States. They're talking about it around the world. Isn't that correct?
Yes, yes, and actually there are protests and actually mayors and cities around the world are signing resolutions for a halt to 5G.
Okay, now let's talk. Let's think about that, because I hear it's being rolled out everywhere. You can't watch a commercial and watch a television show without seeing a commercial about how revolutionary 5G is going to be to connect all of our things and all of us. Well, you know, I've only had a cell phone for about 10 years. My children, most of their lives, my 17-year-old for sure. What are we doing in the way of protecting children from these rays, considering that they are going to have the largest exposure?
Well, there are over a dozen, actually over 20 countries that say reduce exposure to children because they're more vulnerable. The radiation, it's non-ionizing, it's not the same as X-rays, but it is absorbed deeper into the bodies of children, into their brains, into their brain centers. They have thinner skulls and will likely have higher impact because their brains are still developing.
So they really are guinea pigs without even knowing it. And though as much as we'd love to see the entire country have connectivity so that they can prosper economically, not thinking about these long-term impacts without longitudinal studies, I mean, those cities are really the ones that have it, are the ones that are the guinea pigs for what might happen.
You mean for 5G?
For 5G, for 4G?
Yeah. Well, we believe that there are safe solutions that can support. You don't have to give up technology. I use technology all the time. There are safer ways to implement our internet connections and technology that don't involve as much wireless exposure, and certainly not 5G, which is actually sort of taking everything we have now, but more. It's adding more, and it is a new technology that has never been safety tested ever in the human population, and it will be utilizing higher frequencies, also never used before, that although they don't penetrate as much into the skin, scientists who looked at the way the signals are absorbed in the skin are sounding the alarm bell, because they say that it uniquely impacts the skin. There could be skin cancer.
Can you give us some quick tips on what people should think about and how they can protect themselves?
Get educated on the issue. Talk to your elected officials. Read the research, especially the independent research.
NIH has research.
Yeah, the National Toxicology Program did a long-term study and found clear evidence of cancer in the male rats and DNA damage, which just came out actually last week.
Okay.
So,
well, how do people find out more about you and your organization, and maybe you could even come and talk to their group about the information and how they might protect themselves?
Yes, I live in the DC area actually. So ehtrust.org is our website, Environmental Health Trust, and you can click on the information about 5G and go down, learn all kinds of information. So
it is a trust of information, and I'm really grateful that you assembled it. Thanks so much, Theodora, for coming.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and to all the staff there at the Trust.
I will, thank you.
Come back and see us. And I want to thank all of you for watching this edition of The Sustainable Scoop. I'm Miriam Gennari. Back to the news desk.
All right, good job. Thanks,
Thank you,
Mama G.
Miriam.
Be
Thank
careful. 5G, like it or not, 5G is coming, I guess.
It's here.
You
That's
have
right.
to be. Yeah, we have to be careful about that. And positive ionization, what Paul was talking about. Okay, stay away from that. So just stop cell phones altogether, and go back to the old.
Put your
All right,
phone
well, we
down
got to
here.
wrap up and get out of here. But before we do, I was going through my drawer today, one of my drawers in my desk, which are all full of junk, and I found this photo, which is really great, of, well, we had it there. Anyway,
It's right there.
there we go.
Do you recognize him?
Of
on
days
the
gone
end?
by.
Wow.
From
Burgundy.
Howard Carroll there on your left, and Darlene in the middle, and yours truly on the far right, looking like an anchor man.
Burgundy.
Yeah, right.
Right?
And so then,
Shades of
the best
Ron
part about it is
Oh.
if we flip it over, you can see this here, which is really nice. A personal note from our
Oh.
venerable producer and who started this the whole
Yeah.
thing. Don Hammond sent me this picture in '95. So
Such a nice note.
I guess we've been doing it for a
That's
while.
awesome.
Really cool.
So there you
Wow.
go. So
You
that's
should
a
get it
great shot.
framed.
Thanks.
Why isn't it a piece of
I know.
I don't know, but anyway, thanks, Don.
Thank you, Don.
We appreciate it, and all that you did here to keep us going at the Arlington Weekly News. We got to roll and get out of here. So thanks to all of you out there in TV land for watching. If you're out there, we'll be here, and we'll try to all again have a safe weekend. Happy Thanksgiving
Happy
in advance.
Thanksgiving.
Bye-bye.